This is our time. The main host of this hour in the studio is Oleg Borisov. Hello. One person was killed, 15 were injured, including a child. Early in the morning, Russia launched a ballistic strike on Mykolaiv, reported the head of the regional military administration, Vitaly Kemp. It was likely an Iskander-M missile with a cluster warhead. A gas station and several cars were damaged. The Russian Federation also attacked one of the gas production facilities in the Poltava region. As a result of the strike, a fire broke out, according to Ukraine's State Emergency Service. There were no casualties. 93 rescuers and 22 pieces of equipment were involved in extinguishing the fire. The fire was completely extinguished by 6 in the morning. In addition, the Dnipropetrovsk region was also targeted by Russian forces. According to the regional military administration, in the Nikopol district, the aggressor used FPV drones and Grad multiple rocket launch systems. The district center and the Marinets community came under fire. As a result of the attack, an apartment building caught fire and cars were damaged. In the Sinelnikov district, the enemy used drones. The strike caused a fire at an educational institution and also damaged transportation infrastructure facilities. A woman was injured as a result of Russian shelling in the Chernihiv region. The aggressor attacked with strike drones, according to the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. In Koryakivka, a hangar on the premises of an agricultural enterprise caught fire due to the strike. Rescuers extinguished the fire. An administrative building, a private house, and a car were damaged. In Novorossiysk, building facades, stores, pharmacies, and cafes also suffered damage. More than 120,000 Ukrainians have been evacuated from frontline areas over the past 5 months. Among them are about 14,000 children and nearly 4,000 people with limited mobility. This was reported by the Ministry for Communities and Territories Development of Ukraine. Most people are being evacuated from Donetsk region, over 84,000 people, nearly 24,000 have been evacuated from Dnipropetrovsk, and more than 5,000 from Kharkiv region. Dozens of transit centers are operating in Ukraine, where people receive humanitarian, medical, and psychological assistance. They also help restore documents and arrange social benefits. Ukrainian intelligence operatives have disabled an oil pipeline called the Ring in the Moscow region. This was reported by the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine's Ministry of Defense. The pipeline supplied fuel to the Russian army. All 3 lines of the Ring pipeline, which simultaneously transported gasoline, diesel, and aviation fuel, have been destroyed. The main intelligence directorate reported that this strike on critical military infrastructure has seriously weakened Russian military capabilities and disrupted the economy in the Moscow region. Canada will allocate 60 million Canadian dollars to Ukraine for the purchase and repair of energy equipment that was damaged by the Russians. This was reported by the country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The funds will be provided as part of a $70 million contribution to the Ukraine Energy Support Fund. About 50 million of this amount will be allocated for the purchase and delivery of gas compressors for the Kharkiv region. By the way, a payment of 10 million has already been made ahead of schedule for the repair of critical energy infrastructure.
With winter approaching, as Russia once again strikes at vital civilian infrastructure, the need for energy support becomes especially urgent. That's why Canada is stepping up efforts to restore key elements of Ukraine's energy system and support Ukrainians in the tough months ahead. Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada.
Canada stands shoulder to shoulder with the people of Ukraine, not only defending its sovereignty but also helping to restore the foundations of its energy independence. Energy security is national security. By supporting Ukraine's energy systems, infrastructure, and technical capabilities, we are supporting freedom, stability, and the overall security of democracies around the world. Tim Hodgson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources of Canada.
The confiscated Russian cargo plane and 124 will be handed over to Ukraine by Canada after a court decision. This was announced by Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Anita Anand. The Russian AN-124 arrived in Toronto in February 2022 and did not manage to leave the country before the airspace was closed to Russian flights. Since then, the plane has been sitting at the airfield in Toronto, and the owning company owes the airport hundreds of thousands of dollars for downtime. Flights at Berlin-Brandenburg Airport were halted for almost 2 hours because of a drone. The incident happened the previous evening. Several flights were redirected to other airports. After security checks in the all-clear, flights resumed. This is not the first case of aviation security being breached by drones. Just at the beginning of October, drones of unknown origin disrupted operations at Germany's second-largest airport in Munich. In November of this year, Ukraine is set to launch a controlled arms export program. This concerns weapons that have been produced in sufficient quantities and are stored in warehouses, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said following a meeting with government members. The proceeds will be used to fund types of weaponry that are in short supply, the head of state explained. Andrei Dmytrenko will tell you more.
Kiev's partners are ready to purchase Ukrainian drones, reports Business Insider. Production capacities allow Kiev to fulfill government orders and enter global markets, according to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. In 2024, the country produced 2.2 million FPV drones. With proper funding, by 2026, Ukraine's defense industry will be able to increase these figures ninefold, according to the head of the department, Denis Shmyhal. Additional investments will give a powerful boost to the development of the domestic industry. That's why Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has promised the swift launch of a controlled arms export program.
The Minister of Defense of Ukraine must ensure full completion of the tasks for the production and delivery of FPV drones, interceptor drones, and deep strike drones by the end of the year. By the end of the year, we must reach a level where more than 50% of the weapons used to defend our country are Ukrainian-made. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine, Facebook.
Denmark, Norway, Germany, the United Kingdom, and Lithuania are interested in acquiring Ukrainian weapons, according to the head of state. Analysts are confident that there will be many more interested parties once Kiev launches its export mechanism at full capacity.
Ukrainian equipment not only works and can be relied upon, and is highly effective, but it's also several times cheaper. While in some Western countries, individual units of equipment, like certain classes of drones, can cost the state budget $10,000 each, Ukraine is able to purchase these drones in bulk for just $500 apiece. Only we have experience with localization. Only we have the experience and the ability to integrate a huge number of technologies in the shortest possible time.
Drone manufacturers say the export priority will be given to those countries that have signed defense agreements with Kiev. More and more of Ukraine's partners are signing agreements on joint weapons production. At the end of October, the defense ministers of Ukraine and Croatia met to discuss military cooperation. According to Denis Shmyhal, Zagreb is ready to start joint production of drones.
We signed a letter of intent with Deputy Prime Minister and Croatian Defense Minister Ivan Anušić to deepen defense industrial cooperation. We agreed to create joint production chains and cooperation between our defense industries. We are preparing a joint industrial forum for manufacturers at the beginning of next year. Denis Shmyhal, Minister of Defense of Ukraine, on Telegram.
At the same time, joint ventures are operating not only in Ukraine, but also abroad. In a few weeks, a Ukrainian-British plant for the production of Octopus anti-aircraft interceptor drones will open in the United Kingdom. They are intended to counter Russian UAVs. The plan is to produce several thousand of these drones per month.
Our Ukrainian friends will share their technologies and intellectual property with the United Kingdom, and in turn, we will further develop them and produce them on a large scale, so that we can supply Ukraine with thousands of interceptor drones every month. Alastair Carnes, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for the Armed Forces of the United Kingdom, from a Defense Express publication.
Ukrainian air defense shoots down 80% of Russian drones, and Brussels needs to learn from Kiev's experience, said EU Defense Commissioner Andrius Kubilius. The European Union intends to implement the Drone Wall project, which is designed to protect the airspace of EU member states from hybrid attacks by the aggressor country. Ukraine, as a leader in drone technology, is ready to help partner countries, assured Defense Minister Denis Shmyhal. Andrei Dmytrenko for Freedom TV Channel.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.